Hello, welcome back. Today we're gonna look at this Abit AN8 Ultra in more detail. Now we're gonna try and put that color on there, which is a big beefy copper cooler, 110 millimeters, I think, in diameter. So yeah, it's actually very nice. Now sadly I've so let me show this. Let me take it off. So yeah, like I was saying, this thing right here has this rubber washer here to not touch that the board there with this metal piece, and this one is missing that, so we'll have to work with this. I've tried these bigger ones, but they just will not work at all. Now this kind of works, however it's we need to make sure none of this metal touches the board. So actually, let me show you. If I put this on here, hold on, let me screw it. So as you can see now, it's fully torqued down on the board. However, this side is not getting fully covered. Now this is because this washer here is a bit too small and these ones are a bit too thick, so I can use them. Now just to make sure that the board is not gonna get shorted, I'm gonna put a little bit of electrical tape below where this thing is supposed to sit, kind of in this area, and I'll get back to it. Okay guys, so this might look like crap, but it should work. Now we still have the washer on here, and also we have a ton of electrical tape here. Let's hope this won't interfere with the board. Trying to get it it's concentrated in there. Well, technically, if it interferes with the board, it's not gonna affect it. I mean, it's not gonna work, but it's not gonna damage it. So yeah. Now to actually mount the cooler, that's gonna be a bit challenging since I also don't have the screws. Let me show you. And so this is the cooler mounting there. Actually, let me try and find them. I don't know, I think I can work with some other screws too. I'll be back. Okay guys, so I think I found the screws, or at least some similar ones, I guess. I mean, they're not the same. We'll see if they work. I'll be right back with an update on that. We're also using RTX 4, and yeah. Okay, so those are definitely the right screws for this. As you can see, it's not really going anywhere. But that's not really my worry. My worry is about the sketchy mod we did there, but yeah. Hopefully it works. It should theoretically not short out on anything, but yeah. I also did a mod here, if you can call it that. Basically, I saw that the North Bridge, I mean the chipset, because there's no North Bridge and South Bridge on this. The chipset was getting a bit hot with 250 MHz FSB when overclocking. So I basically added this fan here in the North Bridge fan header, and yeah, it's keeping it cool around 30 something degrees. And yeah, we're we need to disassemble the Athlon XP here, but actually it's no longer an Athlon XP because my 2000 plus CPU kind of died. So now we're using a Duran 800, which is not very fast, and I can't really overclock it a lot with this motherboard. But yeah, it works for now. The Duran 800 computer right now is not very presentable. I'll talk another time why. For now, let's assemble the Athlon 64 PC and see if it works. Okay, guys. Sorry for earlier, I kind of choked on saliva. Anyways, let's. Okay, we're getting something. Let's see. Ooh, fan spinning and stuck on code 9. Oh no, cycling. Post. There it is, boys and girls. Let's hook up everything and put into Windows. This is a success. I'll be back. Okay, so before we power it on, let me talk you through some of the quirks that this computer has. You might notice we're using a very old Crystal CS4280 sound card. That's because the one I got with the board doesn't work, and that was a 5.1 sound card, not the original one though. This slot here is for the audio card, the Audio Max 7.1, and that card is last to time. I don't have it, but yeah, to get audio out we're using this, which is not the fanciest card, not the weakest card. It's okay, but with headphones it's pretty bad because yeah, it's not amplified. It's pretty quiet actually. Now this graphics card is the only spare PCI Express graphics card I had. It's a very traumatized 9500GT that came all the way from Italy, 2000 kilometers from here. It's got a broken fan, bent bracket, and it's been overheated plenty of times, but it runs relatively cool with this fan, 60 something degrees. So this is how I pretty much use it. I make sure the fan is not touching this because it will instantly break. This mod, if you can call it that I've showed you, this is the rear I/O. We have onboard Firewire 2. We got 4 GB of DDR-400, an Athlon 64 Plus, and a passively cooled chipset. This was actually one of the selling points of this motherboard, is that you could build a very quiet system, because usually those small little fans that came with the motherboards, and the high-end nForce 4 motherboards back then, were really loud. And I can tell you they were really loud because my A10 SLI Deluxe was really loud with that thing. Now this fan is relatively quiet. You don't need it if you're running pretty much stuck or with a small OC on the CPU. You don't need it, but when you OC to 250 MHz FSB, 2.5 GHz on the CPU, it's kind of, and with an 10x multiplier, it's gonna pretty much hit 50 degrees, and I'm not very comfortable with that on an nForce 4 Ultra chipset. Now the board has two IDE, no IDE RAID as far as I'm aware, but it does have SATA RAID as far as I'm aware, with 4 SATA 2 slots there. CPU 4-pin up top, and the uGuru BIOS, which is actually very cool. Let's power it on here. As you can see, it also has this lighting there. It posted. Let's go into the BIOS. And adjust this fan speed because yeah, it's quite loud. My battery is running low and I have to hold the phone like this. Anyways, we go into uGuru utility on this board, and one thing that's weird, as you can see, it remembers the date, but not the actually the date is off by an hour, but not the uGuru stuff when you power it off. That might be because the uGuru stuff, it's a separate chip, so it might have a separate battery. Who knows? If it does have a battery, it's probably dead since 2005 when this motherboard came out. Well, might actually be an overclocking protection, you know, because it did remember that I selected user defined. Who knows? Let's crank it up to 250, I think it was. 10x multiplier. Oh, it remembered the V-core. 1.6 volts for stability. Advanced chipset features, I think these are, yeah, these are how I left them. The 250 there is for us to have DDR-400, DDR-410, basically the same thing. Let's go on the fan control. Might need to lower the voltage here. 10.5. See if it posts. If you select incorrect voltage here, it will actually not post at all, which is pretty funny. Temperature monitoring. Oh, CPU is actually running pretty cool. And let's see. Let's press F10 and see what it does. It is not quite. Let me go back into the BIOS and see what I can do. Okay, so I cannot get it stable under this. Maybe 10 volts. Let's. Yeah, no, I think it just is that. No, but yeah, it's not very, no, not really all that much quieter. Let me actually show you. This one has a built-in alarm. So if you lower the CPU fan speed enough, that's pretty cool. Anyways, let's boot into Windows and see what it does. Right, so within Windows with CPU frequency of 2.35 GHz, I think. 2.5 would crash for some reason. It never did before. But yeah, I mean, it could be some voltage issue. 1.5 was there. Who knows? For now it works. I will get a higher overclock later. And let me show you that this Abit, this is an Abit AN8 series, so AN8 Ultra, on a pretty late BIOS revision, April 16, 2007, with PCI Express 1.0, and the K8 bridge and nForce for MCP setup, running at 400. Oh, actually, this is probably why it crashed. we're very close to 200 megahertz, but for some, maybe yeah, I don't know. I will look into that later. 4 gigabytes of DDR-400. We're using the 9500GT by MSI, and yeah, let me show you how this thing runs. I don't know, Half-Life 2. So I'll be back when it loads. So as you can see here, we're in the canals of Half-Life 2. I've played a bit of Half-Life 2 on this system, not very much. As you can see, we're getting pretty, at least here, pretty stable FPS, 75 or so, but near fire here, let me not die. Near fire it however drops to around 30. And the settings are basically maxed out to already by 1024. This is mostly due to the very powerful for this game video card. When physics stuff gets more intensive, it will drop to around 40 FPS, but not really lower. Loading takes a while because of this hard drive, but that's to expect from a hard drive. So yeah, this game is very much playable on this CPU. And let's start up GTA San Andreas. Now, this CPU was around $500 brand new, from what I could gather. It was a pretty premium part. Now this is the Clawhammer core from 2004. So yeah, pretty early socket 939. Let's load this part of the game. Now in GTA San Andreas, we're starting to see the limitations of the graphics card reader. I'm pretty sure. As you can see, you're getting around 30, drops to 20, 17. This is maxed out settings. Let's drop the quality a bit. So let's try like high. This is the 1 gigabyte version of the graphics card. So as you can see, it only drops to about 20 now. This is with the FPS limiter off, obviously. Okay. Anyways, so around 30 FPS and 50 when not a lot is going on. So these are basically all the games that we will benchmark for now. GTA 3 will obviously run very well. These are some 2D games. Crazy Taxi is from 1999, so obviously very well. And CS 1.6, this is some NVIDIA i7 version, basically the same thing, and Half-Life 1. Now this CPU, I'm not gonna bore you with YouTube playback, but it does it at around 480p with some stutters, but or 360p, depends. But it can barely play YouTube. Now when with MP4 files it can do up to like 720p. 1080p is too much for it. But yeah, it would be interesting to get an FX60 or a dual core on here. Obviously this is a single core CPU. my battery is dying. But yeah, and this is a custom wallpaper I made for it. I'm using Windows XP 32-bit because it has more support, and because this sound card doesn't have drivers for XP64 at all. It will not work at all. So yeah, and yeah, so this is a CPU 643500 plus Clawhammer 2004. It does not support SSE 3. However, it is the highest clock socket under 939 CPU I have. I also have a 3000 plus and a 3200 plus. Those might support SSE 3, but they're clocked lower, so I went with this one. And yeah, let me show you the graphics card. In 3D Mark 5, it hovers around 30-40 FPS. It's pretty intensive. It drops to 20, I think. And yeah, this is a very nice system. I really like using it, and especially for playing these games, but in general very nice to use. And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.